We're up to Ois Gimel. In Ois Gimel, the Rebbe explained earlier, brought down from the Medrash that the Anochi Hashem Elokecha was said as an individual. To each individual separately, Imi Medaber, that the Eibishter talked individualized to each one. What was it? Why the Eibishter, even though many tzivuim of the Torah, it says in a plural, it still refers to everyone. But over here, it was specifically said in a way of Anochi and B'yochid. So the Rebbe explains over here that the Eibishter was mamshich in every individual, the name Kale. First, it brings down by the Malachim that have the shame. The Eibishter was Meshatev, the name, the Kale. But by Yidden, we'll see the Eibishter was Meshatev, the shame Havayu. Not the shame Kale, like by in the Posik, Rechav Elikim Ribosayim. Over there, the Posik says Adnai Bom. Adnai and Elikim is the same thing. But Sinai Bakodesh, does the Yidden got also a tziru from the name of Hashem. So why is it necessary? What does it accomplish? We're going to see over here that a Yid has Shem Havaya, but when it comes down to the body is Milim, obscures that Shem Havaya of the Neshama. The Rebbe will explain specifically how the Yud K Vav K in the Neshama, but coming down in the Guf, it's obscured. Anochi Hashem Elokecha made that the Havaya should be Elokecha, that it should come down openly, even as it's dressed up in the Guf. Let's look inside Ois Gimel. Hine Shmoi Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu Sheshita BiYisrael. The name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which she partnered, which she brought into the Yidden, is on a higher level than the name of the Eibishter, which is partnered with the Malachim. The B'malachim Ksiv, B'malachim it's written Adonai Bom. What's in them is the name Adonai, the Shem Adonai there. Ukemavur Betanya. And as explained in the Tanya, Shahamalochim Nikroim B'Shem Elikim. We find sometimes in the Posik that the Elikim is a referencing to the Malachim, because the Malachim name of Hashem that they have is Elikim. Now, in this Posik it says Adnai Bom, and we're saying now Elikim. So he says the Elikim ve'Adnai Heim. B'chlolus inyanech. A general way, Elikim and Adnai are really one thing. So when it says Adnai Bom, it's Elikim Bom. So, as explained in the Tanya, that the Malachim are called Elikim. Aval b'Yisrael, but by Yidden Ksiv, ki chelek Havaya Amoy, that his people are part of the Shem Havaya. Chelek M'Shem Havaya. They're a part of the name of Havaya. So we're saying the Eibishter said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, because Sinai, Bakodesh, that the Eibishter gave them the Shem Havaya. But wait a minute. Why did the Eibishter have to give them the Shem Havaya? They didn't have the Shem Havaya even before Matan Torah. V'hagam sha'inyan the chelek havaya imoy, that the chelek havaya amoy hoya gam koydem Matan Torah. This was also before Matan Torah. Why are we saying Sinai Bakodesh that this happened by Matan Torah, that the Yidden got the Shem Havaya? Dr. Loi Heir Ze Begilui Kolkach. It didn't shine. It wasn't revealed so much. Before Matan Torah, the Shem Havaya that was part of the Yidden wasn't open, wasn't revealed. Ki ha'inyan the chelek Havaya amoy u'mitzad ha'neshama. Because this idea that Chelik of Havayis Amoy is from the Neshama. Ubiyiridas HaNeshama Lamato, when the Neshama descends below, Haguf Mailim Umastir Al HaNeshama Val Shem Havayis Shabbat. So the body blocks, obscures the Neshama and the Shem Havayah that's in the Neshama. But the Shem Havayah, which is part of the Neshama, that's when the Neshama, who is a Chelik Havayah, comes down to the body. But what happened Matan Torah? Al Yidei Hadibur Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Through the saying, when Hashem said, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am Havaya, your God, then Nimshach Zeh Begilui. Then it extended openly. Now, the Shem Havaya in the body, the Shem Havaya that the Neshama has, became revealed even in the body, even while the Neshama is in the guf. Okay, as explained to the Torah, the Pirush Anochi Havaya Lekechahu. What is the taich? I am Havaya Elokechahu. Shehavaya yiyeh meir u'mizgala b'chol kol kach. That Havaya should shine and be revealed in you to such an extent, ad sheyi nikra al shemecha. So it'll be called your name. It is called Elokecha. It's called your God. You can see Anochi Havaya. The Havaya becomes Elokecha. It unites, it becomes your God, which means it's revealed. That the Shem Havaya is revealed. How do we have the power? The Shem Havaya be'etzem is misgala in the neshama before the obscurity, before the block of the guf. But once it comes down on the guf, it's blocked. Where do we get the koyach that even when the neshama comes down in the body, it should be revealed the Shem Havaya? That comes from Anochi, a higher even than the Shem Havaya. The hakoyach al Havaya lekecha, the power for Havaya being lekecha, shagam le'achrei shahanishoma mislabeshes beguf. Yiyeh Havaya boy begilui, so that even after the neshama dresses up in the body, the Havaya should be revealed to the extent it will be called on the name of Havaya Elokecha, whom Atzmus Ein Sof Shelamayla Gam Havaya. That comes from the Atzmus Ein Sof, which is even higher than Havaya. So you have Anochi that makes that Hashem be Elokecha. The Shem Havaya Mitzad Atzmoi, the name of Havaya by itself, Hagil Ushaloi, Ulamayla Dafke. Where is it revealed, the Shem Havaya? That's when the neshama is above, before it comes to the guf. Ubichdei sheyeh begilui lemato, in order for it to be begilui below, beguf gashmi, in a physical guf, hu al yidei hamshochas atzmus ein sof, that's by drawing down the atzmus ein sof, which is higher than Havaya. When you have Atzmus coming down, it brings down Havaya, should be a Lekecha, should unite and be revealed. Why Anochi? Why higher the Chala Gavoya Yeser Yered Mizgala Lemata Yeser? Because whatever is higher can come down revealed even in a lower place. So from Anochi, you could come down Elokecha. V'zehu Anochi Havaya Elokecha. And that's what is Anochi Havaya Elokecha. She'akoyach hazeh she'Havaya yeh Elokecha. The power for this, that Havaya should be Elokecha, hu mibchinas Anochi shelamayla gam Havaya. That comes from the level of Anochi, which is even higher than Havaya. So the Rebbe said, v'yesh loymar. The kivon shel shmoi shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheshitav b'Yisrael hu shem Havaya shelamayla m'shem Adonai shemeshutav b'malochim. Since the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he partnered with the Yidden is the name Havaya, which is higher than the name Adnai, which he partnered with the Malachim. Ubefrat, and especially we're saying now, Sha'ashoydev Deshitu Shmoi Yisrael, that what's the root? How is the Shmoi of the Eibishter partner with the Yidden who Mebchinas Anoichi Shelamayla Gam Havaya comes from Anoichi, which is even higher than Havaya. Lochein, and therefore, Gam Habitl the Yisrael, Shenase Al Yidei Shmoi Yisborach HaMshuta Bahem. So also the bitl of the Yidden that comes about through the name, his blessed name that is partnered in them. We said before, what does it mean the Eibush to put his name? His name means that they should be buckle. But since we're saying now the name of Hashem, which is partnered with the Yidden to bitl, is the name of Havaya and even the name of Noichi, higher than the name of Havaya. So therefore, so therefore, the subjugation of the neshama in the guf, which is partnered with the name of Havaya and with Anoichi that brings it out, is a greater level of bittul, of subjugation, even greater than malachim. So the Rebbe brings out that what's the pshat that the Eibishter was mishatev by Yidden, he was mishatev the Shem Havaya. That Havaya, even though Havaya was there before Matan Torah, but it's not the Gilu, that's the Neshama the way it's Lamaila. When did we get the Neshama, even as it dresses up in the Guf? Anoichi Hashem Elikecha, from the level of Anoichi, by Matan Torah, we had Hashem becoming Elikecha, coming from the Anoichi, and therefore, it causes a tremendous level of bittul by the Yidden, which is even greater than the bittul of the Nisham, of the Malach. So what does it mean, practically speaking, the bittul that we have from the Shem Havaya? What's the Shem Havaya by Yid? The Rebbe is going to explain now how the Yud Kei Vav Kei, the name of Havaya, represents the different koiches and the powers of the soul, and that is subjugated to Hashem. That's on the level of bittul. So be'inyan dalad, be'inyan Shem Havaya shebechol echad mi Yisrael. What is Hashem's name, which is in every Yid? He explains in the Maimer, Sha'yud the Shem Havaya shebe Yisrael, the Yud of the name of Hashem from Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Yud, how it is partnered in by the Yidden. What is it? Shem Havaya Yisrael. That is the Chochma of the soul. That's the Yud. Hey the Shem Havaya, and the Hey of the Shem Havaya, who Abina Shebenefesh. That's the level of Bina, understanding Bina. What's the difference between? What is the meaning of Bina? The difference Chochma Bina. What is the meaning of Bina? Bina, we say understanding. It's lahavin davar mitoch davar. To understand something from something else. So you tell one thing, but from what you're told, or from what you know, you can learn something else. The way we explain this in Chassidus, that the level of Bina, of the Neshama, the level of Bina, it is able to reflect on the way the Eibishter created the world. And from the way the Eibishter created the world, from a Malakul Almim, it understands Davar, the Seviv Kul Almim. That means Lahavin Davar, to understand Seviv Kul Almim, Metoich Davar, that's Bina. V'toich Davar, when it says Toich Davar, Hu Hadvar Havaye Shemislabesh B'toich HaNivroim. The Toich Davar, that's the Dvar Hashem that dresses up inside of the Nivroim. What does it mean inside of the Nivroim? It means it gives chayis to the Nivroim, each individual, to each level. There's chayis of a malakul. Kipirush HaBaal Shem Tov, as the Baal Shem Tov says al haposik, La'olam havaya dvarcha nitzav b'shamayim. He says the dvarcha, the Eibishter's words, is forever standing in the Shemayim. So he teaches that the Dvar, that the Eibishter created the world. And he says, Yehirakia, that Dvar is always in Shemayim. That is the level that is mislabesh b'teich hanivroim. That's the Dvar Hashem, which is always mechaye everything that was created with the Dvar Hashem, that it continues to be mechaye. So that's the toib davar. That's the mamalikulam. That's what actually gives the chayis. The davar, but lahavin davar mitoich davar. What's davar? Who had dibur atzmei. That's this dibur itself. Shem lemailom mihislapshus b'hanivroim. That's higher than dressing up in nivroim. That's beyond. The beklolus hoyer Hashem. That generally we're talking about. In general, that's the light that surrounds. So love and davar mitech davar. Shalidei ha'izbanenus b'hadvar havaya ha'melubish b'teich hanivroim. Through the reflection in the Dvar Hashem that dresses up in the Nivroim, you meditate. You're mizboinen. That's the bina. And you meditate on the Dvar Hashem, ha'melubish b'teich hanivroim, in the Mamalukul Alm, in the word of Hashem which dresses up b'teich hanivroim, toich davar. Shehu ha'ora bilvad, that is only a shine. Kedemuchach mizeh gufa. How do we know? So you realize this is only a right. That's evident from the fact itself. Shumalubash b'teich hanivroim. The fact that he can dress up in the Nivroim, you know it's only ha'ora. So you come to the recognition, you come to the knowledge, to the recognition, that there is something, there is a davar, there is something which is higher than dressing up. That's the davar mitoich davar. That's the source from which the aura that dresses up comes from. So we have Chokhmah, then we have Bina. The Rebbe explained Bina. Bina is what? That's the level of Lahav and Davar Mitech Davar. To understand Soivev Kulamin from Mamala Kulamin. That's the level of the Hey of the Shem Havaya in the Nefesh. Vav of the Shem Havaya and the Vav of the Shem Havaya. Hey Mamidas Shem Nefesh. Those are the character traits, the emotions of the soul. And there's Vav, that's the Vav, the 6. Hey Achreina the Shem Havaya. And then you have the last Hey of the name of Yud K Vav K. You have the first Hey and then you have the last Hey. Hi Hayira Tato. That is the lower level of Yira, which is Kabbalah's Il Shem Nefesh, the accepting of the yoke which is in the soul accepts the yoke of Hashem. Oh, so that's the Yud K Vav K in the Nefesh. The Yud is Chochmah, the K is Bina, the Vav is Midas, and Hey is Kabbalah Shel. The Maimer continues that these 4 letters of the name of Havaya, which is by every Yid, that is also physically in the body, you have also Yud K Vav K. So he says, Shaharoish hu ketzir tmunas hayud. The head is the shape of a Yud. It looks like a Yud. Behaguf Kitzir Tmunas Havav. And the body is like the shape of the image of the Vav. It doesn't say about the Bin over here, but okay. So he says the Rosh is like the Yud, and the Guf is like the Vav. A line, straight up. Then Vehei Etzbois Shabiyad, Vehei Etzbois Shabaregel. Each hand has 5 fingers. That's the Hey. And the Hembeis HaHeim. that represents the two hays. You have Yud K, Vav K. So you got Hey and Hey. Over here, it's not Bina, but over here, Hey is the two Hays of the Shem Havaya. It fits with the K. The Hey is Bina over there, but over here, it's the two Hays are the 5 fingers of the hand and the 5 toes in the regel. But the thing is, we really have 10 fingers. We have 2 hands, right? So we have 10 fingers and we have 10 toes. So what is it? We say 5 hey and hey. How does it match up? So the Maimer adds, יש לומר שהטעם שישנם 10 אצבעות בידיים ו10 אצבעות ברגליים. So why is there 10? Both hands together, there's 10 fingers and there's 10 toes. So why is that? Ki b'shem Havaya, because in the name of Havaya, b'milu ha'heim. So sometimes you write hey. The letter hey is spelled hey hey. 2 hays. That's the fill of the hay. There's different ways of filling it, but when we do fill it with a hay, b'chol ha'hey yeshum shnei hay. So in each one of the hays, the hey lo and hey tatoa has the fill. So you have number 10. You have hey and hey. So you have 10 fingers and 10 toes. The first hay is the hands. That's the hay and the hay. And the second hay, that's the 10 toes, the hay and the hay, that's included. Why is that important? To tell us how we get to the number 10 over here. Shloimar, da yidei ha-hisofesh ha-mispar eser etzbois who connected ha-hey b'miluay, by saying that, adding that the number 10 fingers corresponds to the hay when it's a full hay. Mitoysev biur b'chlolus ha'inyan the tziur shem havaya shebeguf. That adds explanation to the general idea of the tziur shem havaya that is in the body that he's explaining over here. Lehine yodua be'inyan hamiluyim. It's known about when we talk about the fillers of the words. So you have the letter itself, and then you have the filler when you pronounce it, how you would write it out. What is the reason? Why is the fill of the word hidden? Say, for example, aleph. Take the letter aleph. Aleph is spelled Aleph Lamed Fei, but what you see is just the Aleph. You see the letter Aleph. Aleph Atzmei Hu Begilui. So when you write the word Aleph, you see just the Aleph. V'halamed v'hapei, and the Lamed and the Pei of the word of the letter Aleph, Shehem Amilu Shaloi, which are the fill. Klulim by Behelim, they are included Behelim. In the Aleph, there is the Lamed and the Pei, but what you see is the Aleph. Why is that? Who? Because the fill of the letter is its inner and its essence, which cannot come down, which is above revelation. For example, he says, "Bedugmas, Adam shemedaber eze inyan, v'yesh lo boig b'zeh kavona." A person says something, and he has some intention why he's saying it. His purpose, his intentions, his agenda is hidden. But what you see is what he says. The inner of what he says is the agenda. That's the inner. The inner of the letter Aleph is the Lamed Pei. But that's hidden. It's only the Aleph that you see. Like the person, what he speaks is what you see. You don't see the hidden intention. Move on. So from this we understand. The Zed Shebahatzir the Shem Havaya Shebahaguf Davke Yesh Gam Milui Hahei in the Shem Havaya. The fact that in the Tzir of the Shem Havaya, that is in the Guf, not in the Neshama, we don't explain it. We explain it by the Guf. We explain there's two Heys, the Milui of the Hey. Yesh Gam Milui Hahei in the Shem Havaya. Why is that? Beguf Davke Mizgale Gam Hapnimiyus Va'atzmiyus the Shem Havaya. Because it is specifically in the body that also the essence and the inner of the Shem Havaya is revealed. That's why we need also the Milu over there. That's why we also have the Milu. Why is Davke in the Guf and not by the Neshama? Ki bichdei liyos hamshochas Shem Havaya beguf hagashmi. Because in order to bring down the Shem Havaya in the physical body, hudavke al yidei hapnimiyus v'ha'atzmus the Shem Havaya. That is specifically through the inner and the essence of the Shem Havaya. The chitzonius of the Shem Havaya stays up, would not come down. That's with the neshama. To get the neshama to also come down while it's in the body, with the Shem Havaya, you need the essence of the neshama. Similar to what we explained earlier in Siv Gimel. שבכדי ששם הווי שבנשמה יהיה בגילוי גם בהסלבשוס בגוף, in order for the name of Havaya that's in the neshama should be openly, also I want to dress up in the body. That is when you bring down a noichi, which is higher than Havaya, then you can have Hashem Alekecha even in the body. Same thing is we need the pnimis of the Shem Havaya, the milui hey to be open. So now we have two things that bring down the gilu Shem Havaya in the body. We have a noichi Hashem Alekecha b'matan Torah, and we're also saying that in the body there's the milui hey, which is the essence of the Shem Havaya. So, what's the difference between these two aspects? The novelty, the special idea of the Shem Havaya of the Neshama should be also when it dresses up in the body. Guf Gashmi. Over there, it's only as it pertains to the place. You want that the neshama, the Shem Havaya, should be even in the place of the body. That is Anoichi Hashem Alekecha. Sheshom Nimshach Hagil. Over there, the Gilu comes to the place, to the body. So over there, Vayidei Shenimshach B'Havaya Mebchinas Anoichi Shalamaylo, and through bringing down in Havaya from the level of Anoichi Shalamaylam Havaya Nimshach Hagilu Shaloi Lamato. So the Gilui of the Shem Havaya comes down even to the lower level, to the Guf Gashmi, that there too is the Shem Havaya. That's the accomplishment of Anoichi Hashem Alekecha, to push it down Lamato. V'achidush ba'atziur, the Shem Havaya ba'aguf. But what is the chidush? That we have the shape of the Shem Havaya in the body, who b'Shem Havaya atzma. That's not to bring down the Shem Havaya, but over there, the Shem Havaya itself, now the Shem Havaya has the Gilui, the Pnimis, in the expression of the shape of the body. It has 10 fingers and 10 toes. Shem Havaya. Shalamaylo ma'olam, Shem Havaya, which is higher than world. V'guf Gashmi, Heim, Shnei Hafochim, they are two opposites. V'lochein, b'chdei sheshem Havaya yitztair kavayochel b'tzir the guf Gashmi. So therefore, in order for the Shem Havaya to be shaped, so to speak, in a shape of a physical body, which is the shape of the body as explained. So that doesn't happen through drawing down something for which is higher than it through Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Because the impact that becomes through a higher power, like in this case, through the level of Anochi, it's only that it should go down lower or similar. But it doesn't change it itself. The Shem Havaya is not shaped. But in order for the Shem Havaya to be shaped, so to speak, in the shape of a physical body, that is through bringing down and revealing the pnimius and the etzem of Shem Havaya itself, hamilui the Havaya. That's the fill of the Havaya, to bring down the etzem, the two heys, hey, the milui, gam Havaya atzmei b'pnimiyusei, because also Havaya in its inner eine mugdar begeder haruchni. That is not defined in the spirituality. So Hashem itself, the inner of Shem Havaya, is not defined dafke by the neshama, and therefore ubiyicholtoi liyizgam betzir the guf gashmi can come down on also on the guf gashmi. So the Rebbe explains that Anochi Hashem Elokecha b'matan Torah, that pushed it down to lamata. The milu hahei, which is the gilui of the etzem, the etzem of the Shem Havaya, that is through the expression that the shape of the physical, the Yudke and the two Heys that have the milui, in order for to be the revelation of the Shem Havaya itself, to be mitztayer, because the essence of the Shem Havaya is not defined by Ruchnis, and therefore it can come down in the shape of the 10, 5, and 5, the milu, the Shem Havaya. Okay, let's leave it over here.
Thank you. Have a good day.